Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a very intriguing thing going on, but we're actually now, I think, seeing some Xbox Series X price increases actually going up, which is kind of intriguing to go and see if that will be maybe affecting, say, the PlayStation 5, other consoles, and all that stuff. So I want to report on that news because it is intriguing and actually has been happening at a few other locations. As well, we also have kind of a cool update when it comes to the Xbox 2, when it comes to other stuff in terms of them actually optimizing cool new internal systems and everything else tied on in. So I want to do a nice little Xbox video because why not, as we're enjoying the nice little weekend. And as well, I just want to let you guys know we do have a nice little flight going on soon too as well, so keep that in mind. But as you guys probably know, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on before we dive in the video itself for our channel's PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have all the Amazon sign-up links for the Xbox itself, PlayStations, Horizons, and all of that. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys would like to go and follow. And we got the Target links if you guys want to go check and see. We've also been seeing a lot of Best Buy is also getting Xbox stock too, in case you guys care about that. So, as I mentioned, we've actually been having a kind of an intriguing thing that's now happening across the world. And, well, I just wanted to go talk about it because sometimes this stuff is very intriguing at the end of the day. So with this, we've actually been now hearing reports that the Xbox Series X is now actually raising in price. Now, this is very intriguing too, and I'm sure you guys can probably tell by like the article title itself. Thankfully, as of right this second, it is not in America. I'll probably go and touch on that in a second. I think you guys all probably collectively agree we probably wouldn't see price points increasing because at that point, if the PS5 also does not increase, although they probably could based on the availability, the scalper prices, semiconductors, supply chain issues, products like, I mean, we've talked about this stuff for a little years. But thankfully, I don't think it would because competition and supply is pretty good here in America. But at least in India, though, and we have also, I think, been hearing this now, in a few other different countries, where they all are also bumping up the baseline normal retail price for their consoles. So this is not just an India thing, there's actually other areas getting it. Now, like I said, are we expecting this to maybe happen like in, say, Canada or in, say, America? I would probably say no, just mainly because the American USD has still been holding up pretty strong. It's actually been gaining on a lot of various other currencies, so like such as the euro, etc. But as well, with inflation kind of hitting pretty much everywhere throughout the world, it's not the best sign, and we're not the biggest fan of seeing this stuff, well, pretty much everywhere. Like, I myself have not been having a fun time having to pay extra money for gas and other various, well, things in the first place. But with this, let's go talk about this. So the Xbox Series X now actually costs even more officially in India, proper normal retail price. Although, once again, the Xbox global takeover of the world, the Xbox Series S is actually still available with even a discount. So it's kind of like almost a weird disproportional side where the Xbox Series X is going up and up, and well, the Xbox Series S is, well, going down and down. But I'm okay with that too because all these places such as like India, Brazil, like, a lot of these more, like just more impoverished countries usually can't have as much money. But as well, it also gets them still in the gaming ecosystem, and as well, they also have local price points on top of that for Game Pass. So the Xbox Series X is now set to get more expensive soon in India, while the Xbox Series S is currently now available for a discount. Microsoft gaming console, the Xbox Series X, now even cost even more in India, a change that could be attributed to the rising difference in value between the Indian rupee and the US dollar. So a 6% jump in price has brought the console from its launch price of the RS $49,000 now all the way up to $42,990. So basically just a price point too as well. And we might actually see even more of this in other various regions. Once again, as I mentioned, the USD actually has been holding pretty strong. It is usually the global baseline currency. So typically, other like somewhat weaker currencies usually do get impacted by that a decent amount. But for this, it does go and confirm that India actually now has fully raised the prices. And I've also talked about this too as well. We also have seen other areas too as well have it bumping it up. Well, we haven't seen anything with the PlayStation yet. There's always a possibility, especially if Microsoft's doing it in that local market. It also makes a lot of sense too if Sony kind of follows that drift too as well, where they're like, well, if the Xbox get away from it, why can't we? And then go from that. So the value of the Indian currency has dropped by 6.5% since the actual Xbox Series X has launched in November 2020, as per a report by Gadget 360. Microsoft confirmed back in June that the price of the Xbox consoles would go up in the country, citing market conditions and changes in regional marketplaces as reasons for the same. Now, I feel like I've almost never really seen a console go up in price, more so only ever go down. Like, I mean, throughout the years, you guys can maybe let me know. Of course, we have this really weird global economic issue. I'm sure you guys, like we will all live in it. But I've almost never seen a baseline console price go up, only ever down. Or as well, they just make a brand new one, such as the PS4 to PS4 Pro, or the Xbox Pro, and go from there. So this is like almost the most unheard of thing I've ever seen. While the listing of the Xbox Series X on e-commerce platforms like Flipkart and Reliance, these are just like imagine Target or GameStop, still have the $50,000 price tag, the consoles still have not been in stock yet as of then, for then people to actually go and see the official price points for it overall. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's going to be priced up. No one's had a chance to restock it as of yet. Know that users want to buy an Xbox at the old price may still have a chance to do so by buying some of the older stock units of those, and this would be the same equivalent of, like, let's say America and Best Buy still had stock and they haven't updated it yet. Thankfully, like I said, though, I do think the likelihood of this happening to American consoles is pretty slim based on competition and scalpers already kind of, being so on top of stock. It did technically happen with the GPUs, though, as I'm sure you guys have seen, although, as I've mentioned, it hasn't been anything for anything else. Also, it says on top of that, so meanwhile, the Xbox Series S, funny enough, though, is still going on sale. So with this, that actually has the Xbox Series S is being sold now for the RS31, which I'm not really sure the comparison for it, because they typically, I guess the ratio is pretty much the same. So this is on Amazon and other platforms, which is actually a discounted price, which was actually $34.99. So I maybe guess the comparison would be like a $300 USD to maybe like $270, $260-ish range or so, give or take. It's available on multiple platforms. The Xbox Series S is currently the only next-gen console that's easy to purchase, as stock for the Xbox Series X and Sony PlayStation 5 continue to be hard to find. So I found this kind of crazy. As I mentioned, we've never really seen too many other economies have their price points go up. Usually for me, I just assume that like it's going to go down as time goes on, as stock equals out. But some of these regions, don't forget, even for the PS5 and Xboxes, are still so in a drought for their stock that, well, basically it's not good. They basically have no stock, they have no stock available, and everything's basically falling apart, at least for them. So, I've never seen this before. And I've also mentioned we've seen this in a few other countries too as well. Thankfully, though, not in America. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below, because this does seem like it's actually confirmed going up now. Although, thankfully, a little bit on the clickbait side, at least not in America. Now, as well, to kind of talk about some other intriguing news too. Xbox Cloud Gaming Team actually unofficially addresses performance issues on Linux. So yesterday they actually had a chance to report on this stuff, that the Xbox Cloud Gaming on Linux operating systems was noticeably underperforming. So if you guys just don't know, Linux is just a separate operating system. Kind of think like, how Apple has their own and Windows has their own. It was actually first brought to light to a Reddit user who posted his findings after testing the streaming service on both Manjaro and Windows. But they actually had some official cool things over here, where we have them respond saying, I work on the Xbox Cloud Gaming team, I want to clarify what's going on. Linux isn't technically a supported platform for Xbox Cloud Gaming today, which also means they might actually want to edit to in the near future, which is actually pretty cool. So it reverts to a default resolution and bitrate, which we know will be safer and more performant for a much wider variety of devices, especially older and less powerful devices. For this, browser sniffing was simpler than feature sniffing, even though it's not technically ideal. So we've actually been seeing a little bit more of this as well. That said, the team is working to improve support and access for a wider range of devices too, and this actually seems really nice because we are still waiting for a lot more cooler experiences for the phone, for like, let's say on your TV with the Samsung TVs that have been kind of popping out soon, and as well for other operating systems. At the end of the day, that's actually kind of neat and kind of cool. So as we're looking through all this type of stuff, we're actually kind of seeing a pretty cool internal upgrade for the Xbox itself, which is very nice to see. So basically, it isn't just a purely technical one, deriving from the fact that Linux is not technically a supported platform too as well. So I just want to bring this up because I actually had someone think like their stuff was even going to be bad for the Microsoft side, but I want to go talk about this because we're also seeing cool things for Xbox insiders, Xbox betas, and everything else. So it's a little bit of a cool Xbox video. I do want to remind you guys I do have a flight going on tomorrow, so I'll have a few more videos in case anything's weird though. Don't mind me too much. I just want to say I do appreciate all of you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have the Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console, Xbox, all that stuff. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you guys think that Xbox is going to raise prices, lower prices, keep it the same? I still think it's been the same side, but it's always very scary to go and see some one of these actual products moving and changing from there. So I want to say I do appreciate you guys, like I said, very much. I might have one more video throughout tonight. Have a good rest of your nights and start of your weekends. Y'all beautiful, y'all lovely, and I'll see you guys up on the next one.